Divya.
Okay. All right.
See, Divya, and I got one more request. I think Divya is recording and somebody else.
It's okay if Divya is recording, then
Yes,
later
yes,
we
I'm
can,
recording.
yeah,
Vishal is
she
not
can
there.
share to all of us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine.
because Vishal is not there today, right?
Yeah, I know. That is why I'm just reminding. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
So can we start with resource management plan? So we'll start with resource management actually. Right? Now this resource management is not only about human resources, this is about physical resources as well, right? This resource management will talk about plan of acquisition of physical resources also, plan of acquisition of human resources also, right? And a very important component of this resource management plan is the roles and responsibilities, right? A very, very important component of resource management plan is roles and responsibilities of various people involved in the project, right? Now, when I say, when I talk about roles and responsibilities, there are various ways to depict the roles and responsibilities. A very, very popular tool that is used to depict roles and responsibility of various people, right, which are involved in the project is RACI Matrix, right? RACI Matrix is a very, very popular way, right, to define the roles and responsibilities of people involved in a project, right? Now, I believe all of you might have seen a roles and responsibility matrix like this, right? Have you seen roles and responsibility matrix like this?
Yeah, correct.
Right. Now, in the roles and responsibility matrix like this, right? What does R represents?
Base them.
Responsible. A is accountable. C is to be consulted, and I is to be informed. Responsible, accountable, to be consulted, and to be informed, right? Now, tell me what is the difference between responsible and accountable? Can you tell me the difference between responsible and accountable?
Responsible may be the executor, and accountable means maybe that final stakeholder.
Owner, right? So, as a good practice, there should be only one person accountable, right? But there can be multiple persons who are responsible, right? And sometimes, in some situations, the responsibility and accountability can lie with the same person, right? Right. C is to be consulted. It can be any subject matter expert, right? And the I are the people who need to be communicated, right? See, tell me, there are different people who work, different resources, human resources who work in a project team, right? Is how important it is, right, to understand, right, how important it is for them to understand what is expected from them in a project. Is it important or not? Tell me how important it is, right, for them to understand what is expected from them. A lot or not? Tell me, guys.
Very.
Right? There are multiple people who are working in a project, right? They should know what is expected from them, right? And does RACI matrix, a matrix like this, help them to understand it or not?
Yeah.
For example, if you have to, let's say, assemble and integrate. Now tell me who is accountable here?
The manufacturing manager.
Right? He should understand that he is the owner, right? For example, to create test circuit board, who is responsible?
The one
Quality manager,
engineer, right?
Yeah.
The engineering manager, right? And the accountability is quality assurance manager, right? So people should understand their accountabilities and responsibilities, right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, a question to all of you. See, we all know that RACI matrix remove ambiguity to a great extent, right, regarding roles and responsibilities. But tell me, if your plan, if your planning is very, very granular, for example, if you have decomposed scope into a very granular work breakdown structure, and you have decomposed your work packages into a very granular set of activities. Or in other words, your planning is very detailed. If your planning is very detailed, does it make your RACI also better or not?
Yes, it does.
Right? Because scope planning is important. See, if your scope planning is not that good, if your breakdown of your scope is not that good, your RACI can still have ambiguities, right?
Correct.
Now, one important aspect of resource management planning is, right? One is, we discussed plan of acquisition of resources, which can be your staffing management plan. Second is your roles and responsibility, which can be depicted using RACI chart, right? What else can be? Now, tell me, do people in the project come in exact shapes? If you need A or B or C, do you get 100% A, B or C, or do you get people in broken shapes?
Definitely, we would be needed all in one.
No, but
We don't get.
you want the best
May
ones.
not be, Pankaj, it
But
may
the
not be.
actual resources are 100% of what you require, or can be in broken shapes, right? You
Depends
require,
upon the requirement.
yes, see, suppose you requirement, a resource A, you might get 75% of the skills which are expected. See, do you always get human resources or resources as per the expectations, or you get people in broken shapes?
The latter.
Yeah, some lacking might be there, right? So
Yeah.
how do you bridge the gap between the required skills and the available skills? Through mentoring, coaching, training, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So a training plan is also a very, very important part of the resource management plan, right? Now, this is the third aspect. Now, another important aspect is, people need to be motivated to contribute, right? Do people need to be motivated to contribute or not?
Yes, of course.
Right? People need to be motivated to contribute. So, there should be proper reward and recognition mechanism, right? We'll go through a lot of reward and recognition theories, right? Motivational theories in today's session. So all these are important part of, right, resource management plan, your staffing management plan, your RACI chart, your training plan, your reward and recognition policy, right? All should be part of your resource management plan, right? Now,
Sure.
once your resource management plan is in place, will you acquire resources? Right?
Yes.
Yes.
When you require human resources, right? Now, you use certain tools and technique to acquire human resources,
That's
right?
right.
Now, often, do you do structured interviews?
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
interview people, right? Do you do ability tests? For example, if you're hiring a Java
Yes.
programmer, you have to do Java test, right?
Yes.
Do you do other specific assessment also, like medical or psychometric assessment?
Correct.
And and are the skills sufficient? Are the skills sufficient? Or you need to do some attitudinal surveys also, right? Because see, is skill good enough, or person should be good in terms of attitude also? He should be a team player also,
Absolutely.
right? So you do attitudinal surveys also, right? You may be in touch with his previous boss, right? Or previous team members who worked with him, right? Now,
Yeah.
apart from this, there is a term called as focus group.
Mm.
Now, what are focus groups? See, focus groups, right? The outcome of a focus group will always be a set of opinions, right? You won't be, see, focus group will never result into any kind of conclusion. Now, we'll talk about this concept focus group in the context of requirement collection also. We talk about it, right? But what is focus group? Do you know what are focus groups?
No.
Focus groups are like pre-qualified stakeholders, right? See, when you want opinion of a group, right, related to certain topic, we make use of focus groups. For example, suppose you want feedback or opinion about from certain set of pre-qualified people on an e-commerce website, right? You will be only talking to those people who make a lot of purchases from e-commerce.
Yeah.
From e-commerce website. So these are pre-qualified resources. For example, if you want a feedback, right, on a topic related to healthcare, you will only have people or pre-qualified stakeholders who are associated with healthcare, right?
Right. Compliance and privacy policies would be a separate focus group.
Yes, yes. So focus groups are, set of people, right?
Correct.
For example, if you want to understand the attitude of people, right, customers or brokers towards mutual funds, right? You will talk to, for example, if you want to see attitude, what is the attitude of people towards mutual funds, right? As a consumer, you will talk to only those customers who invest heavily on mutual funds, right? Similarly, if you want to, right, understand the attitude of brokers towards mutual fund, you will only talk to those brokers, right?
Yes.
Right. So these are focus groups. Now, focus groups can give their opinion, right? Focus groups can give their opinion. Later, the opinion can be analyzed to conclude. Some other group can analyze their opinion.
Excuse me, Pankaj, can you let Aditya in?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, there are 3-4 people who are trying to come in. They are all in. So, is the concept of focus group clear?
Yes.
Right? Because many times people have a confusion regarding focus groups and facilitated workshops, because in both set of people participate. The difference is, focus group is to get the viewpoint of pre-qualified stakeholders. Whereas when you do facilitated workshop, there also you see a lot of people sitting together. But first of all, they need not to be a pre-qualified set of stakeholders. And the purpose of, facilitated workshop is to, to arrive at a consensus. If there's some difference of opinion among different people or different viewpoint regarding certain topics, they can arrive at consensus, right? That is a kind of a facilitated workshop.
Yeah.
Right. Now, for example, if you have to hire a candidate, right? If you hire a candidate, right, and different people have half of the group, half of the people, right, who are interviewing. See, after the candidate has been interviewed, all these assessments have been made. 70% or 60% feel that he should be there in the team. 40% feel that he or she should not be in the team. Now, if you have to arrive at an agreement, will you do a focus group or a facilitated workshop?
Focus group.
No. If you have to arrive at agreement, suppose
consensus, yes. So yes.
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
On the other hand, if you want some expert viewpoint based, suppose you share the biodata, all the other things, right? The result of all these assessment, right? You want to share these results with an expert, and if you want their viewpoint, will it be a facilitated workshop or a focus group then? Suppose, for a candidate, you already have result of attitudinal survey, specific assessment, or structured interviews or ability test. You have result there, right, with you. And you want to, there is a project management committee or PMO or a group. You want to show it you want to get their opinion on the candidate. So then you will have a focus group or a facilitated workshop. Then focus group. Focus group will give their viewpoint. That, okay, what should he be selected or not, and why? No agreement. Only viewpoints are given in focus groups by pre-qualified stakeholders. Is that okay? Saloni, are you following this or not?
Yeah, that's
right?
Fine.
Because many times, even after focus group has given their viewpoint, right, while arriving at agreement later, you might have to do a facilitated workshop also, right?
That's where I was confused, hence I didn't reply.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, focus group is not giving any outcome. They are only giving pros and cons of hiring this particular person, right? Then the final committee will take their action. They might have differences of opinion. To bridge the gap, you can have facilitated workshops, right?
Right.
Now, suppose the team is acquired, right? Suppose the team is fully acquired. Some people are internally taken without any assessment. Some people have gone through assessment, right? There are some internal resource. There are some external resource. Now tell me one thing. Does team become high performing right in the beginning?
No,
No.
No, right? And
no.
apart from this, even before the team becomes, even before we talk about team building, right? Suppose team is on board. Should you discuss some basic norms, ground rules with the team or not?
Yes.
Right? So first thing is, definitely this is, there will be many questions around RACI chart, right? In the PMP exam, plus there will be a lot of questions around a very important document called as team charter.
Team charter. Okay.
The team charter is a very, very important document actually. Even before team building, we'll talk about. Now, see, people should be told right in the beginning before they start working in, right? What are the ground rules? What are the team norms? How should they communicate? And if there is some issue that is,
Escalation points and everything. Yeah.
how escalation should happen, how the issue resolution should happen within the team, right? How to resolve the conflict when the disagreement arise, right? Right? Guidelines for team communication, use of tools, right? So, and working agreements, right? For example, when we are going to do improvement activities, right?
Essential agreements, correct.
Essential agreements. So all these should be discussed in any ways, the expectation should be set right in the beginning through a team charter, right?
Yep.
Right. And this team charter can be collaborative effort, right? Among the team members. Now, once the team is on board, will it become high performing right in the beginning, or it will take time to become high performing?
It will take time.
It will take time, right? So every team, now a very important concept, right? The team building, how the team building happens, right? Team building goes through various stages like forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning, right? And when the team is going through these different stages, should you use same leadership model or different one? Right? These are the team building stages. Can you see forming, storming, norming, performing? Can you see this? And then adjourning. Can you see these 5 stages?
Yeah.
Yes or no? On the screen.
Yeah.
Right? Forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Right? Now, at every stage, the leadership applied should be different. It should be situational leadership based on Hershey's and Blanchard's model, right? Now we'll discuss about the leadership, but first let's understand what does it mean when we say forming, storming, norming, and performing. Now, forming, the first stage of team building is forming, guys. Initially, it's the initial stage when the team is formed. Right? It's the initial stage when the team is formed.
Correct.
Right? This is forming stage. Now tell me, when initially the team is formed, do you only show the positive side of yourself to each other or negative side also?
It's imperative both.
But 90% times people, when in the initial meeting, shows what? The positive side or negative
Their
side?
best side. Yeah, their best side.
The best side, right? Now, see, this may not last for very long though. See, in the initial stage, the project has just started, and a lot of times you have a lot of time also, right? Because the team is getting ramped up, you are getting requirements, right? The workload might not be very large right in the beginning, right? So often you go to cafeteria, you have some good time, you have coffee and tea with your colleagues, right? And when you go to your home, right, you tell your family, you are blessed to have such a nice team, such nice people. Everybody is willing to go out of the way to help. What happens, right? What happens? So as we move forward, right? As we move forward, right? There will be finger pointing, there will be blame games. Now, when you go back to your family, what did you say? What do you say? When you go back to your family, you say
Let's destroy.
See, you say, it's see, there's a lot of politics happening in slowly, right? Yes, does it happen or not?
Yeah, workload and everything. Yeah, it comes.
Right. So, what happens, right? In this area, in the storming phase, the role of project manager is very, very critical.
Indeed.
The role of project manager is very, very critical here, right? Based on how he manages the team, based on how he manages, he mentors the team, based on how he coaches the team and how he manages the conflict, right? Team can progress forward or team can stuck here. See,
True.
if the project manager is really good, professional, he will mentor the team, he will coach the team, right? He will mentor the team, he will coach the team, right? And
I think it becomes very important for the manager to ensure that the essential agreements are being met.
place. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. So, the role of project manager is very, very critical. Now, but sometimes what happens, project managers are also insecure. So instead of, doing everything professionally, they create a lobby or a group here. Those groups,
Agreed.
many times, some project managers might create a group. They will show groupism or they will create a lobby around here. Now, if the lobby is created, some people might be very happy, which are the part of the lobby. Some people are frustrated. So, generally 70 to 80% teams, they struggle around storming also because of this reason. But if project manager is very professional, he manages the conflict very well, right? He mentors and coaches a team. The team moves into the next stage, which is called as norming. Now, norming is a stage where team starts understanding, right? The bigger interest is what? The project success.
Correct.
Right? They understand how their personal success is aligned to the project success. They improve in skills also, right? They improve in terms of emotional intelligence or emotional maturity also, right? They improve in both the areas, emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, right? So, now at this level, right? At this level, the teams are called as self-managed teams. These teams are called as self-managed teams, right?
Okay.
Teams at norming level, these are called as self-managed teams, right? Now, in Agile, when we do Agile, the prerequisite for an Agile team, for example, a prerequisite for a Scrum team is self-managed team, right? So self-managed team starts from these three. Now tell me, can we have a self-managed team from day one?
No.
Now the only way we can have self-managed team from day one is
If we have an existing team which has been working on the previous project.
Yeah, if we have a team, existing team who have been working on the same project, same domain for long.
Yeah.
Right? Now, and this is what I observe. See, when I see implementation of Agile in a product development company, right, as compared to a consulting company like Accenture, right, or PW, any consulting company, right? See, the Agile implementation was very strong in a product development company. For example, I was there for a Scrum audit in a travel company, and I asked this question to CEO, why you are calling me for a Scrum audit? Your people are too good. See, they were creating potentially shippable project, not only potential shippable product at the end of every sprint, right? They were releasing it. They were releasing every 2 weeks. They were releasing, and I was amazed to see the way continuous integration was, continuous deployment, the whole continuous delivery pipeline was implemented. Right? Outstanding. But again, what was the key thing there? Same people have been working on the same product for past 10 years, right? Same technology, same domain. So they were very thorough with each and everything. So, if you see the implementation of Agile in companies like Netflix, Expedia, right? You will find it much stronger than any consulting company. Why? Because in consulting, if you're a part of consulting company, your domain will keep on changing every now and then.
You have to multitask.
Yes, you have to multitask many times. Yes, right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so norming is self-managed teams, right? And from norming, if team keeps on improving, you reach performing, right? Now, this is synergy. These are called as high performance teams or self-directing teams. At this level, the whole becomes greater than sum of the individual performance. You achieve synergy at performing, right? Sum of the overall performance is much bigger than sum of the performance of individuals, right? These are called as self-directing teams. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? These are self-directing teams, guys. So, right?
But just a point. This point comes when you have a team which is not fresh. It's like having people who are already too much experienced, and they tend to meet their thought process and their skill levels.
Yes. See, in a normal team, Agile expects self-managed and self-directing teams. So that for that to be at norming and performing from day one, you have to have long-standing teams, right? But if in general, you have to take team from forming to storming to norming, performing, it will consume significant amount of efforts of a project manager.
Yes.
Right? And it will take time.
Right? As a performing level, that the project management point comes bit easy after you go through all. Yeah.
And Piyush, one of the reasons why Agile is failing, you have teams working at storming stage, right? You have teams struggling at storming level, and you try to implement Agile the way it is written. Teams will fail, for sure. Now, after performing, if everything is delivered, teams are adjourned, right? So, though I have mentioned about forming, storming, norming, and performing, these are not one directional. See, from performing, team can again drop to norming and storming also. See, because if team composition changes, manager changes, it can happen. Right? Now, while we discuss that a team goes through different stages of team building, like forming, storming, norming, performing, it's a Bruce Tuckman's team building model. Now, tell me, will the leadership applied at every level be same or different? Right? For example, when we say forming, the leadership style as per Hershey's and Blanchard should be telling or directing. Right? It should be telling or directing. Is that okay?
Okay.
It's like telling is like basic build. It's ground to earth. No one they're not even known to anything.
More on directing and less on somewhat on coaching also. Because at forming level, very less. Yeah, please say.
I feel like Tuckman says like you are hiring a people of medium skills and the low skills, but Hershey says that you are hiring a people only freshers. Your telling is like a person with a 3 or 5 years of experience will not be. He cannot go through the telling stage. He has to read the documents and he implements it. Yeah.
So when team is at forming level, since they know very less about the project, right?
Yeah.
You are told many things by the manager, right? You are mentored and coached also by the manager, right? Now, as you move from forming to storming, again storming, right? Storming, people work, right? Now, the role of project manager in storming is very critical. He has to continuously mentor and coach, right? He has to mentor and coach the team. Right? He has to tell also sometimes, right? But again, all the decision when the team is at storming level, all the decision will be taken by the manager.
The project manager.
The project manager. Now, as you move to norming is a self-managed team. At a norming level, the project manager is more like a facilitator because team is competent, right? Team can manage. They're self-managed teams, right? So here, the project manager is more like a facilitator, right? And when I say performing, and these are high performance teams, self-directing teams. So here, even project manager can delegate everything, right? He can facilitate, but even the facilitation role will decrease, right? Now, the same approach, right? The Bruce Tuckman's approach of team building and Blanchard's and Hershey's model of leadership has been described in this diagram with more clarity, right? Now, I'll give you 3 minutes, right? I'll give you 3 minutes. Just scan this whole picture, right? How the leadership is applied across different team building stages, right? Then we'll discuss.
Yep.
See,
Yeah.
the difference
Yes.
is, for example, in directing, leader is deciding, right? And this is high directing, right? And maybe low supportive behavior, right? See, because the team here is low competence and high commitment, right? Now, as you move from right S1 to S2 to S3 to S4, the leadership, style change and the team's behavior also change from low competency, high commitment to low to some competency, low commitment. Then we have these D3 and D4 level are important. That is what we have to achieve at least. Right, moderate to high competence and variable commitment, and D4 is high competence and high commitment. Right. Now, if you see this first two quadrants S1 and S2, every decision is taken by leaders. Though leaders will say let's talk, but again leader will decide the ultimate. Right. In S3, right, let's talk, but again this D3 can decide. Right.
You're letting the ownership being taken.
Yeah. They can take their own decision because they are self-managed teams, right?
Correct.
Right. Similarly, in D4, in S4, the D4 decides, right?
Right.
Now, as we discussed, in this whole team building stages, conflicts will happen, right?
Right.
Conflicts will happen or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is important for a project manager to manage conflicts effectively. Yes. But again, tell me, are all the conflicts unhealthy?
No.
Divya, are
No,
all
they are
the
necessity.
conflicts unhealthy?
No.
No.
Right? Some conflicts can be healthy also.
That's
So,
right.
Yes.
even before we talk about conflict management, should we talk about different levels of conflict?
Yep.
Should we
Yeah.
first talk
Yes.
about different levels? Yeah. Right.
Yes, please.
So let's talk about different levels of conflicts, right? First, I'll talk about different levels of conflict. Then we'll talk about how to manage them effectively, right? Now, the first level, the lowest level is problem to solve. Right? Can you see the first level in the slide? Problem to solve, guys.
Yes.
Now,
Identifying the problem.
Yeah, identify. No, it's not identifying the problem. See, a conflict can be simply problem solving, right? For example, the team is discussing whether to use Java or .NET, right, or Python.
Sure.
Now, tell me, this kind of discussion, is it a healthy conflict or not?
It is.
It is healthy, right? And
Yes.
if project manager knows it, that okay, it is simply problem to solve, can he withdraw for and let the team manage?
No, the decision needs to be made.
Yeah, decision,
Because
that's
they're
okay.
seeking opinion.
But the project manager is not tech savvy, right?
Right.
The technical people are discussing, right? And they're discussing the pros. Let them brainstorm. Let them come out with a decision, right?
Yeah.
Right. We can easily achieve win-win here. Now, see, project if required, project manager's participation may not be there, right? May not be required.
Right. Yeah.
Now, this is if healthy discussions are going on, it's more like a healthy conflict, right?
Correct.
Some conflicts are important. So this is problem to solve. One, right? It's okay. Such conflicts are healthy. Now, there can be minor disagreement also. Right? There can be some level of sarcastic tone also. Right? For example, I know you are skeptical about my approach, my way of doing, but we have followed other approaches also. The same problem were there, right? Still, manageable, right?
Yes.
Still manageable, right? So, till the time a conflict is problem to solve or disagreement, team can manage on their own, right? Till this level, team can manage on their own. But the problem starts happening when the conflict become a context, right? Now the context, the tones are different, right? For example, if the tone is like this, we all put a lot of efforts, we all contribute, but this person goes forward, gives demo and take all the credit every time, and it happens every time. Is it a healthy or unhealthy language?
That's not healthy.
That's not healthy.
That's
So
competitiveness.
So can project manager withdraw this kind of scenario? Or he should manage it?
Yes, it
He has
needs
to
to
be
be
involved.
resolved.
He has to be involved, right?
Yeah.
He has to manage it very effectively,
Yeah.
right? It will require a strong conflict management. Why? Because if this level of conflict is ignored, then it becomes crusade. Now, crusade, the language will be like this. It is not worth talking to him or not worth talking to them. If the language becomes this, is it more damaging or not?
Yes,
It's
it is.
worst.
The trust is going away completely,
Yeah.
right? So project managers should try to de-escalate contest to disagreement and then crusade to contest to disagreement. They should try to de-escalate these two levels, right? But if project manager is ignorant of contest and crusade, many times it leads to world war. Now, world war is a situation where nothing can be done. The conflict between two people and parties becomes so big that they try to hurt each other at the cost of project or company business even. I have seen this world war, right? Some of you might have seen. Have you seen conflict between two parties or two people who, become so high that, they start damaging each other and they forget about the company, they forget about the project, they forget about the customer. Does it happen sometimes or not?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Now,
happens.
this is world war. Now, at this stage, you can't de-escalate. The only way is you have to separate part of the people who have conflict, else you will lose the battle.
So Pankaj, shall a PM get involved at a disagreement level itself?
I think minor, some level.
Some sort of. It's not full involvement, but yeah, he should be.
At least he can empower some people to solve it.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
His mentoring and coaching is required, right?
Yeah.
Right? But again, don't withdraw at, see again, he can withdraw completely at this level, but these are very critical contest crusade. Because I have seen world war happening. Many times company lose business, companies are collapsed because of this. Sometimes personality clashes have led to world war.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this should be avoided. Again, generally people who have more experience, they might have seen these kind of conflicts within very senior people, right? They even, Anil is raising hand. Anil, yeah, your question.
My question is that for the problem to solve stage, there's a conflict of management. So you said like it's a kind of choosing some kind of solution, like we can say that system. So for example, four people has decided their own that this system should be fine to go away. And at later stage, it is identified that it was not the suitable product that can be used here. So how the project manager, like who will be the responsible for that if something is negative
Dekho,
happening?
see, there are various tools here, right? Obviously, it's a mistake. See, why this is called as problem to solve, because there's a healthy and detailed discussion, right, about pros and cons of multiple technologies.
Okay.
Only if this detailed discussion and detailed analysis has not happened, right, then the problem will happen, right?
Yeah.
Now, apart from detailed analysis, there are various tools given, right? For example, the concept of safe to fail experiment, right?
Yeah.
The spike, the risk-based spike, all prototyping, all these things should be done before choosing one technology, right? So if they have
Okay.
not been done properly and a bad choice has been made, then people have to accept their mistake. That's it.
Okay. So there is no like approval will be required from the project management in this case. Like ultimately, he has to sign it something.
See, the accountable person should own it, right? But I think there is no document saying that a mistake has been made and please sign it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Understood.
You don't have any
Yeah.
document like this, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
So again, that's why we say healthy conflicts are important, right? Because if there are healthy conflicts, if you listen to everybody, right, then poor choices won't be made,
Uh-huh.
right? So first of all, before we talk about how to manage conflict effectively, are the different levels of conflict clear to you? What is problem to solve, disagreement, context, crusade, and world war? Right?
Yes, communication plays a very important role here.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Communication plays a very, very important role.
Right.
Now, how to manage conflict effectively, right? Now let's see what all techniques can be used to manage conflict effectively. Collaboration can be one technique, right? Collaboration can be one technique, right? Then we can have techniques such as uh, compromise, right? Forcing, avoiding, and smoothing, right? Now let's go through them one by one. The best technique to manage conflict is collaboration. Can you see collaboration here?
Yeah.
Right.
Now, what is collaboration? See, collaboration is also called as problem solving. Now, there is in bracket, we have written confrontation. We don't use confrontation a lot, right? We prefer to use the word collaboration or problem solving, right? Now, what is a problem solving or collaboration technique, right? Now, see, whenever there's a conflict, right? If I'm applying collaboration, it means I sit with both the parties under conflict. I listen to both of them. And come out with a solution which is win-win for both of them, right? So that's why it is also called as win-win. The approach of conflict, this is called as win-win situation, where both the parties who are in conflict, they win, right? This is also called as win-win situation, right? As a project, suppose as a project manager, I am managing a conflict. I listen to party A also, party B also, right? I'll analyze, and I'll come out with a solution which is win-win for both the parties, right? This is collaboration, right? Now, one of the benefit of this approach of collaboration is the results of this approach collaboration are very long lasting, right? But tell me, what is the deficiency in this method? What is the deficiency in this method of collaboration? What is the issue with collaboration, guys? See,
Maybe there
takes a
there
lot
will
of
be another conflict
no,
at
it
later
takes a
some
lot of
stage.
no. See, generally, if everybody is mature, it will not happen. But the big major problem it's a time-taking activity.
Yeah.
Now, since it's a time-taking activity, tell me, in projects, do you have infinite amount of time or your time constrained?
Time constraint.
Time constraint is always there, right? So can you apply collaboration, or can you apply win-win in every situation?
No.
Anil, can you apply win-win in every situation?
No.
You can't make all the parties happy in every situation, right? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. Agreed.
Now, what is the second best technique? The second best technique is compromise, right? Now, compromise can be called as a lose-lose, right? Sometimes some books use the word lose-lose for this. And some books use the term win-lose, right? Comma win-lose. Now, what is compromise? See, to maintain the relationship, right? You try to partly agree with both the parties. This is compromise, right? This is a compromise, right? For example, if Saloni says we will start designing after requirements are 100% done, right? If Saloni says we'll start requirement, right, we'll start designing after requirements are 100% done. And Savita says, no, we should start designing after requirements are 50% done, right? This is a conflict. Now, as a project manager, to salvage the situation and to maintain the relationship, I'll say, let's start designing after requirements are 75% done. This is compromise. So I have not completely agree with, right, Saloni or Savita. I partly agree with Saloni and I partly agree with Savita, right? This is called as, right?
So you make a decision, you bring in a part of the decision to
Yes.
help the larger picture.
Yeah, yes, to help the larger picture, yes.
Yeah.
Right. So, and maintain the relationships, right?
Right.
This is compromise, right? Second way. This is compromise, right? And then this is also called as lose-lose. Some books say lose-lose. Some books also say win-lose. Why? Because you have partly won also and partly lost also, right?
Us as well. Yeah.
The third technique is forcing. Now, what is forcing, guys? See, tell me, as a project manager, if you feel that you have done this kind of activity multiple times before, you are more experienced, can you force? You should force, right?
Yeah.
If you feel
It's
that
only when you're confident about something.
if you're 100%, yeah, you're confident about something, you have done it multiple times, you have seen proven success, right? And teams are
success, correct.
you can force it also, right? My
Yeah.
way or highway, right? So sometimes you can use forcing also, right? Now,
Right.
in terms of PMI's language, forcing is called as win-lose, right?
Win-lose. Okay.
Yeah, win-lose, because you are actually winning. At least
You're winning you're winning the timelines, but you're losing the essential part, which is the team management part.
or but still sometimes it is useful.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes as a project manager, you have to do it. This is what I have seen,
Absolutely.
And whenever you have not tried to, sometimes I have seen that, I was in a position where I have clarity of the picture, but I thought, let me encourage my team and let them take some more time to decide, it was a trouble. So when
But
you
it's
feel,
so situational. If you have the time in hand, you can probably experiment it.
yes,
But if you don't, you cannot. You have to maybe force it.
and if you're crystal clear that, you have seen it, this happens, then, take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, again, see, there is no proven formula. These are various ways to handle things like collaboration, right? Compromise, and right, win-lose, right? Depending on the context, depending on the situation, you have to apply. Is that okay?
Right.
Now, as I told you, can you withdraw also in some situations? Yes, you can, right? You can withdraw when a conflict is problem to solve. But can you withdraw as a project manager when a conflict is a contest or crusade or world war? No,
No,
absolutely
You should do it.
never do
Yeah.
it, right? And I'm now going through the fourth one, the troublesome one. Do you have troublesome employees, team members?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who says that, I'll resign, give me increment, right? Tomorrow is the day he has to leave for on-site, and today he's saying that, or you are at a critical juncture of the project. Somebody says, promote me, increase my salary, else I'll leave. Have you ever come across this situation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost everywhere.
Yeah. Now, in these situations, what should be done, right? Now, see, many times in these situations, because for a bigger picture, if you see the bigger picture, right? In the bigger picture, if you go ethically, right? You try to convince the guy, but the guy is not agreeing, right? And if you don't fulfill the demand of the person, team member, you will lose a 10 million or 20 million or 50 million US dollars project, right? So I think each of us who are more than 15 years of experience, right? Some might be 10 plus also. They have come across a situation when they have accepted some unethical demand of their team member to save the project.
Arm twisting is what it's called generally.
Yes, yes. Now, see, this is unethical, right? And it is very clearly advised, right? That do it very confidentially. Otherwise, you will be perceived as a weak leader, and it will set wrong precedents also.
True.
Many times, you see sometimes, right? Sometimes this is also called as lose win, because as a manager you have lost, right? As a manager you have lost. So this is called as lose win, but deliberately you lose because to save the project, right? Now do it confidentially, highly confidentially, right? Right? And understand one fact. This was a very, very temporary solution.
Right.
Don't assume that the problem is solved, right? You have to create, after the temporary solution has been done, then you have to think about the permanent solution for this problem, right?
Pankaj, just to add that sometimes we have to extend these sort of situations. Like it's not immediately, but like under the policy or something, we says we have to take permissions and everything, and we drag it for a month or two, and we try to hold that position for something or that particular scenario, so that we get the time to have the long term planning for.
It's situational specific, right?
Yeah.
For example, I have faced this situation, like, it was very instant. See, tomorrow the guy has to go,
International.
Right? International, and that too, he was the only one who has got skills on IBM Enterprise Service Bus.
Yeah.
Right. And he's saying he has put, list of demand in front of me. Right. Imagine tomorrow he has to leave. What should we do? We have to bypass the routine policies. Because see, I discussed with my sales guy, then we do it, though it was unethical the way he was doing it, right? It was a blackmail, right? But again, he was blackmailing us. But again, still we did what? We evaluated, if we hire a guy in UK, right? My client was Michael Page International, I think, or PwC. Right? If you hire somebody there, the per day cost will be much higher than what he was demanding. So we agreed. But again, it was not taken very positively by the management, right?
Yeah.
And
it's not a
management
long
was
term.
the plan B, right?
Yeah.
So again, we have to save the project. So we took accommodation or smoothing. This is called as accommodation or smoothing as a strategy, but it is not, it's not a right way to do.
Right. You have to take it on the chin sometimes.
Yeah. And please, this is not the end of the game. This is not a permanent. This is a very temporary solution. Plan a permanent solution later, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
So these are various ways to manage conflict. Depending on the situation, depending on the conflict, you can use these conflict management techniques, right? Now, another important thing that we have to discuss is, right? We discussed that, people need to be motivated to contribute, right? Do people need to be motivated or not to contribute?
Yes. Yes.
So, PMI's latest document, what happened? PMI removed few things and they add now they added again in their manual right? When I say manual, it is not PMBOK, it's their PMI manual, right? Which is given to us for the exam, right? They have added the motivational theories once again. So we'll quickly go through all the motivational theories, right? Now, Charu, are you there? Charu, are you there? Because she asked me a question on WhatsApp on conflict management.
Sir, I'm here.
Right. So can you answer that question now?
Shall I send it on the group?
You can send it on the group, right? We can discuss, or if you're on laptop, we can share it on the screen also. I'll give you share permission. We can discuss it as well.
Okay, sharing on screen.
Right. Shall I give you share permission?
Yeah, please.
Right. I'm giving it. Yeah. Please share the question.
Shall I stop your screen sharing?
Yes, as you can. Yes.
This was the question.
No, I mean, yeah. So this is the question, right? Now, I think it's from the clone questions, right?
Yes.
A team expresses concern about a team behavior issue during retrospective meeting. The member says that group morale is affected by two team members who continuously criticize the high amount of requirement in each iteration, right? Match the conflict resolution technique with the project manager's possible resolution for this issue, right? So this is a match the following question, right?
One thing which I couldn't understand was that this question is like match the following. The answers were not looking. I mean, couldn't even understand what I'm supposed to do here.
Oh no. It's a match the following question. I think there should be something below. Just
It was only this much.
right. Okay.
I have.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I cannot recollect which question number is it. Now it's not even.
No. Let me see.
I think this question is this much only, because when I was also doing this, I also got confused with this question.
Okay. It's a match the following question, right?
But the only thing which was mentioned was only this much, and I couldn't even understand how should I attempt that.
No. See again, in the actual exam, you have to do drag and drop for this, right? Now, what you have to say is which statement. See, the meaning is which statement correspond to withdraw or avoid here, which statement correspond to smooth and accommodate, right? So this is what you have to feel. For example, if I say collaborate and problem solve, which statement looks like collaborate and problem solve?
Consideration and distribution of work.
Meet with full team member.
See, when I say meet with full team in order to discuss requirement allocation and the planning methodology, right?
I think they are very much in sync with each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When you force it, you are saying that since all requirements were evaluated and organized by the full team, remind the team that the decision was theirs. This is nothing but forcing. Same happens here when we are talking about compromise.
No, let me see. Yeah, withdraw. As soon as possible, allocate one or both of these team members to a different project or initiative, right?
This is withdrawal only.
No. This withdraw or this is force. As soon as possible, allocate one of these. See, we are parting of people. Now tell me, what is the level of conflict here? Is it a kind of a, what is this kind of a conflict? Is it not a kind of a world war? So as soon as possible allocate one of these team members to a different project or initiative. Is it not forcing?
Yes.
So this is forcing, right? Now let's go down. Recognize the team members' feeling regarding the high level of requirements. What should be this?
Just smoothing only.
No, it's not smoothing.
Collaborate.
Reconcile the team members' feeling regarding the high level requirement, right?
Yeah, that can be collaboration.
Okay.
Collaborate and problem resolve.
Obviously, it can't be smooth or accommodate, right? It can't be that.
Yeah.
Right. So it can see it can be either collaborate or it can be compromise is reconsider the distribution of work among the whole team to ensure that the work is equally distributed. Right. Okay. So this again, recognize the team members' feeling regarding the high level of requirement. What should be this?
In collaborate, when we talk about collaborate, we try to solve the problem. While solving the problem, isn't it two people or multiple people are required to give their inputs, to participate equally?
It depends on conflict, whether conflict is between two people or multiple people, groups. So conflict
No, in general, I'm talking, if you're talking about collaborate problem solving, then isn't it the participation has to be at both levels? The project manager as well as the team. But when we're talking about smoothing and accommodate, in that perspective, the project manager is genuinely expected to acknowledge the part of the problem concerns.
He has just recognized the team members' feeling regarding the high level, but he has not done anything. It can't be smoothing or accommodate. He has not accepted anything.
But he is recognizing, na?
Recognizing.
If I am accepting to accept few things, I need to acknowledge the perspective with which the other person is coming to me. I mean, if I am giving some value to it, then I am accepting and I am recognizing the other person's part on it. I mean, I am not able to understand why we are not considering B as smoothing.
No. Let's do it. Let's do first of all. What should be D? Is D forcing or withdraw? Is C? What is D? A forcing or withdraw?
I think it's D, forcing.
Since all the requirements were evaluated and organized by full team, remind the team that this is it not withdraw?
It's withdraw. Forcing is
withdraw. Forcing is when as a
forcing.
project manager, I am saying
you are giving your decision. Forcing is giving your decision.
Neither I am imposing my decision on you, nor I want to participate and resolve the conflict. I say you did it.
Right. So you
is
withdraw.
It not withdraw? This is withdraw.
Correct.
Right. This statement should be mapped to withdraw. Right.
Okay.
Right. And this statement, okay, this is withdrawal. As soon as possible, allocate one or both of these members. This is forcing. So you have to interchange, right? Whatever is written in forcing is actually a withdraw, and whatever is in withdraw is force, right? Now, let's see the third E also. Collaborate or problem solve. Meet with the full team in order to discuss requirement allocation and planning. इसके नीचे कुछ है क्या देखो? कोई statement तो नहीं है इसके नीचे?
नहीं, मैंने इतना ही स्क्रीनशॉट लिया था.
इसके नीचे तो कुछ नहीं लिखा हुआ ना?
Full stop.
क्योंकि ये तो लाइन है, ये तो बिल्कुल straight forward है.
2 minutes. I think I can try it here.
Just do a Control F.
I'm trying that. On left.
Yeah, this is the one, right? आ गया था.
It's not working.
अभी आया तो था.
38.
Go to question number 38. It had
38
the number written there.
Okay.
That's
Yep.
that's it. It's
Yep,
here.
yep.
It's here.
This is it है
this is right.
नहीं कुछ नहीं है
हाँ अब पहले ऊपर पढ़ लेते हैं एक्चुअली कॉन्फ्लिक्ट क्या है वो तो देख लें. A team member expresses concern about team behavior issued during retrospective meeting. The member says that morale is affected by two team members who continuously criticize the high amount of requirement each iteration, right? This is, okay, now we have to do this, right? So A is parting off, A is forcing, right? From the project manager's perspective, A is forcing, right? Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Now, B, recognize the team member's feeling regarding the high-level requirement, right? Now, see, requirements recognize the team member's feeling. This should be more towards collaborating, actually.
Collaborating.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, we are trying to understand each and every party, right? So it's more. Now, compromise or reconcile. Reconsider the distribution of work among the whole team to ensure that work is equally distributed. I think this is in right place. Is it in right place or not? Compromise or
I
reconcile?
feel so.
Yeah, it's yeah, right. Now, if I see D should be a withdrawal.
That's right.
Right. Now, the last one, collaborate and problem solve. Meet with the
B
full
and
team.
E is swapping each other.
Right. Which one? B and E, right?
B and E.
Yeah. Bravo, echo, right?
Yes, that's right. Bravo, Echo.
Yeah. Collaborate, problem solve. Meet with the full team in order to discuss requirement allocation and the planning methodology. Right. Right. What should be this?
When we are doing the discussion or discussing about the requirement allocation and planning, isn't it collaboration only?
This is also collaboration. Actually. This is what I'm saying. This is also collaboration.
I think recognizing itself is accommodating. We are accommodating or recognizing the team member's feeling. I think the B is also at its right position.
Yeah, looks like yes.
Yes.
Because
accommodate
in
feelings.
terms of your example also, when we are recognizing someone's feelings or when we are working
Agreed.
towards a
Agreed.
team member.
Agreed. Right. So agreed. So what we are changing here, because see, we have to see all, right? It's a match the following question. So we are A should be what?
D.
D.
A should be D, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
B should be in the same place.
Yeah.
Right. C should be in the same place.
And
Right.
he's also in the same place.
And D should come to A.
Yeah.
Right. And E is in the same place, right? So this is match the following, right? So
okay, I still have one question. I still have one question left with me. When we are saying that withdrawing or forcing, what is the I mean, while doing the action, who is the subject here?
See, withdraw means project manager as a decision maker. Has he withdrawn? See, the person who is managing the conflict, he is taking. It is not about the team. It is about person who is who is managing the conflict. Has he withdrawn or has he forced? Can we do one more question on withdrawal and force? I think let me do one question so that all the doubts are clear, right? Can we do some more questions on conflict management quickly?
Yes, please.
Right. Let's do some questions because doing questions will solve your doubts, right? Because I have one question which often people, have doubts about whether it should be avoid or force. Can you please share the screen now? Stop sharing now so that I can share my screen.
Yeah, I have already stopped.
Okay. This is it. Now, can you see my screen?
Mhm.
Can you read question number 5? See, that this question will make, will give you clarity on what is forcing, what is withdrawal, right? Joe is a project manager on a large software project. Very late in his project, the customer asked for a huge change and wouldn't give him any more time to complete the project, right? At a weekly status meeting, the client demanded that project be finished on time. Joe told the client that he wasn't going to do any more status meeting until the client was ready to be reasonable about the situation. Which conflict resolution technique was he using? Answer carefully after reading.
Forcing.
No. Is it withdrawing or forcing? Now let me give you, see what is actually forcing.
Yeah,
See,
in the perspective of a client, he cannot force, so it has to be withdraw.
yes, in the perspective.
That's the difference only. If it was an internal situation, it could have been led to a forcing situation, but because the client is involved here, so it's withdraw.
See, what is forcing? Let's first understand what is forcing, right? See, if I have a conflict with somebody, right? Suppose this client has a, right? This person, this project manager has a conflict with the client, right? Now, Joe could have called the client, let's sit together and talk, right? Now, while discussing, while discussing with the client, if Joe dominated the discussion and try to force his whatever he wants to the client, what is this?
It's forcing.
This is forcing. Let's talk.
That's forcing, yeah.
Yeah, and in the discussion, he dominates the discussion, right? But going away with something, you might be feeling you are bored, but actually you are coward. Now tell me, when Joe displays this thing, why can't he face client? When he says, he wasn't going to do any more status meeting, is he not coward? Is it not withdrawal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Actually a withdrawal, right? If he was strong, he should have said, let's discuss and talk and solve the matter. He should have tried to convince and dominated in the discussion, right? That will be forcing.
Then, yeah, no. But if he would have said, okay, if Joe would have said, let's sit and talk and get a solution to it, that's collaborating. That's not forcing.
No, see, if Joe would have said, Joe would have also listened to client, right? Joe would have also understood client's aspect, right? And then they mutually have come with a decision that is problem solving, right?
Yeah.
But if in the meeting, Joe would have dominated the customer to accept his demands.
No, but that's based on the outcome of the meeting. Here, it's not defined like that.
Yeah. Now, so here's, if you see this, Joe is a project manager on a large software project. Now, very late in his project, the customer asked for a huge change, right? And wouldn't give him any more time to complete that. So there's a change also and no time, no extra time, right? At a weekly status meeting, the client demanded that project be finished on time, right? Now, Joe told the client that he wasn't going to do any more status meeting. Is he avoiding the situation or not? Is it not a withdrawal? Forcing is when you force that, okay.
The withdrawal is fine. Here, the withdrawal is definitely, I would say, a right decision because he's trying to set the precedent right. Because, of course, if there's a huge change and there's no time, there's any which ways involvement of resources and cost. So
But
here, withdrawal definitely fits in.
But can't he discuss with the customer? Can't he say, let's sit together and understand what are the repercussions of this big, huge change? See, not only the time and cost, it can impact multiple areas.
Yeah.
But if he is going to sit with the client and discuss, it's completely based on the end result of the discussion. It can go forcing way, it can go collaborating way, both.
I'll tell you. In this context, since it's a huge change with more time, right? So even if it is more to do. See, again, the right result can come only from collaboration, not from forcing.
Correct.
Right. Now, it's not that kind of negotiation that requires forcing. It's a kind of situation that requires actually collaboration, right? But in
Yeah.
forcing, you have to face, right? Let me take example of forcing also.
Mhm.
Let me take example of forcing also. Now, can you see question number 19?
Mhm.
You are managing a software project when two of your programmers come to you with a disagreement over which feature to work on next, right?
Hanji.
You listen to
Yeah.
first programmer, but rather than thinking through the situation and gathering all the information, you decide to go with his idea. Which conflict resolution technique did you use? See, you listen to
That's
only first.
yeah. That's forcing.
That's forcing, right? This is forcing, right?
Absolutely.
And what is this?
That's withdrawal.
No,
For
this is
sure.
13, the new one.
Hanji, sorry. Team
Team members are having an argument over priorities in your project. One thinks that you should write everything down before you start doing any work, while other things that you can do work while you finish documentation. You sit with both of them and design and listen to their argument, right? Then you decide that you will write most of it down first, but will start doing the work when you are 80% done with the documentation. What conflict resolution technique are you using?
Compromise.
Compromise.
Compromise, right? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
that's
Now,
yes, that's compromise.
see, the only thing is when you say he wasn't going to do any more status meeting, this will be, you are escaping from the situation. This is avoid.
Uh, Pankaj, I'll say it can be counted as forcing also, because he is forcing a client to just give him the client to get ready with the reasonable about the situation. He's just forcing the client to do it. And there can be a situation where client is in that particular sort of situation where he has to accept it.
But tell me, see again,
It's a sort of withdrawal as well as forcing. I'll say it's rather both of them.
see, because see why I will call it withdrawal, and I'll specifically focus on this. Many times many people do it in real life also, right? So you should know. See, even you are in difficult. See, if I don't like somebody, or if I am in a difficult situation, and even if I am with a, I know the opponent is very difficult to manage, right? See, even for forcing, you need to sit with the person. You need to talk to him. At least you should talk in the, while you can disagree while talking, but this is, you don't want to meet. This is avoid.
But until the client was ready to be reasonable about the situation, so it's a force on him.
No, but see, this is not a force. देखो ये force नहीं होगा, उसका reason देखो. See, even if
force नहीं है.
नहीं, this is not force. See, this is force. This is not force. See, why? Because why can't I tell this? Why can't I tell this in meeting? Let him there in the meeting. Let him be there in the meeting and tell him that it's not possible.
Yeah, so what it reads, it says Joy told the client that he wasn't going to do any more status meetings.
If instead of this he says, let's meet, and in the meeting he says, I don't accept any kind of such changes. But simply saying that I won't be doing any kind of status meeting, is it forcing?
No, that's withdrawal.
But it comes with the comma. When you read the complete sentence, the situation changes.
Even if he says client was ready with a reasonable situation, right? Even if I go with this whole, right? Even if I read the whole, it will still be called as avoid. This is avoid.
It can be a knows that this is the scenario where they have to the client has to be forced, and they will compromise, and they'll just accept what you are saying. That's my thought process.
No, I understand.
Gone through that sort of situations on both the side. I have worked as a client as well as a vendor, what you call. But saying that, yeah, it can be a force and it can be a compromise for anyone.
See,
Yeah, that's my thought.
From customer perspective, it can be customer in this situation. Customer is trying to force you, and you are withdrawing, right? This is the kind of situation.
That's a
right?
true description, right?
Yes, Saloni, you were raising hand. Tell me.
Yeah, I wanted to say here in this situation particularly, what sounds fair is when you force someone, or if Joe would have said, I am going to be using an X product because this is viable and this is going to cater to your needs of the business, that's implementing his decision of his expertise, because he is a project manager on a large software project. Here in this case, it's withdrawal. Forcing is if he had a decision to make that this is what needs to be done, I think that would have gone towards the forcing factor.
Yes, 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 yes. See, I'll tell you what, when I quit my job, we started a software development company, right?
Yeah.
And I have a partner, right, who was very strong negotiator. And what happened, since we were doing a project in all the latest technologies, and it was a ERP for brewery and distillery industry, right? What happened? People who joined us, they will learn a lot with us. They will struggle because, there is a domain knowledge, there is a new technology, they will struggle. But what happened after somebody will be experienced with us for 6 months, he will quit and join some big company like HP, Singapore or so, because, by using the jargons they have learned by working with us. So what happened, the project was, we couldn't make out that, project is going to be over budget and slip in terms of timelines. So, one of our guys, see, I can't do it, but, one of our person, right, was a very strong negotiator, right? He calls Mohan's, right? It was for Mohan Makins. He calls Mohan. We have a discussion with Mohan and including their IT head. And in that discussion, he was pretending to understand both the sides of the problem. But, the whole goal from us was to renegotiate the contract. Right. And from my perspective, I did not participate much because I knew it was our mistake. Right. See, if people are leaving, right, it is not their mistake, it is our mistake, right? And we have agreed on a cost earlier. But he said, let's sit and talk. And in that whole meeting, he was pretending as he was, helping everyone. But the goal was that he should make them agree on his demands. And he made them agreed on his demands, right? Was it a problem solving or a forcing?
I'll say both.
It's a problem solving.
It's actually a problem solving.
No, see, tell me, it was all our mistake.
Yeah.
And for our mistakes, why would they pay us?
It's the way you convince them, way you deliver your thoughts.
That way of convincing will be forcing, not problem solving. See,
yeah, you will be able to resolve by saving the relationship, but not by getting paid.
Right. See, problem solving is when you understand their side of the problem also, and you come out with a mid ground, right? What should be done for the best of both?
Correct.
Right. Here you are thinking only about yourself. See, that's why, when you say problem solving, it is always win-win situation.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to think about them also, that, they are also damaged.
Right.
Right. जैसे बहुत बारी, see, बहुत बारी, जब भी कोई प्रोजेक्ट ट्रबल में होता था, मैं आपको सिंपल बता रहा हूँ, and I am talking about big stalwarts, right, who are big names now in the industry. वो सब भी मेरे से बातें, देखो, जब कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स फेल हो रहे थे, तो I was in a certain level where I interact with both upper management and project managers also. तो बहुत बारी मुझसे बोला जाता था, यार पंकज देख लेते हैं सारा, राइट, और ये सब बड़े बड़े सीईओ से नामी ग्राम, राइट, हम क्या क्या क्लाइंट्स के ऊपर मर सकते हैं कि उनकी गलती से हुआ, पहले तो सारे उसकी लिस्ट बनाते हैं. Now, and the discussion will be sitting across a table, but with the intention. So will you call it as a problem solving?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's
a plan forced.
Yeah, right. So again, we have to understand problem solving in details. Now,
yeah,
can we go through motivational theories quickly?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just starting with the PPT again.
Pankaj, what you told is like a proper sales guy. You plan, you force it, and nobody knows it.
I don't have those skills, right? But there are people who have those skills, right?
Yeah.
I've seen there are people who are very strong negotiators, very strong, right? So can we start with a very basic model, right? The Maslow's hierarchy first. Guys, can we start with Maslow's hierarchy?
Yeah, sure.
Right. This is the first and the very basic model. As per Maslow's, right, the needs of the people arises in hierarchical fashion, right? The lowest level need is physiological. See, this is physiological, not psychological, right? Which is air, water, food, house, and clothing. Don't call, some people very quickly read this, so they end up understanding. This is not psychological, right? Psychological means you need to go to psychologist, right? These are physiological needs.
This is physicality. Yeah.
So this is physiological means the very basic needs are the air, water, food, house, and clothing. These are right. Now, once these needs are fulfilled, you move to safety level needs, right? Now, what are the safety needs? Security, stability, freedom from threat and physical harm, right? This is the second level needs, right? Now, when security and physiological needs, safety and physiological needs are fulfilled, right? Then you reach another level, which is social needs. You want love, affection, approval, right, of friends, right? You want to be loved, right? For example,
socially accepted.
You want to be accepted. For example, if you have written a post on Facebook, right? If there are 100 likes
on it, yeah,
you're so happy, right? That people love you. That's why you are liking it, right?
Right.
That's why they're putting so many likes. So this is so when you post something on Facebook or LinkedIn and you get a lot of likes, your social needs are fulfilled, right?
Right.
Now, after people start, after you've been loved, after your social needs are fulfilled, then you want yourself to be respected, right, for your achievements.
Right.
Then comes your esteem needs, right? Which is
the
more
number
about
of followers go up.
Yes, the number of followers, right? Right. People should respect you, should give you attention, right? Right. They should give you a, you should become an influencer, right?
Right.
That is esteem. Now, once all of these needs are fulfilled, right, you want nirvana, right? Self-actualization, right? Your needs are for self-fulfillment, growth, and learning, right? So people people who have achieved everything in their life, like Bill Gates, right? They all are, right? And many gurus, right?
They are thinking about the community as well. Yeah.
So they all are, right, into self-actualization. Now, again, people might perceive they are in self-actualization, but they might not be also, right? For example, right, if you consider Baba Ramdev, right? See, all of us are from India. Where would he lie here? I think esteem.
Esteem.
Right?
Sadhguru is self-actualization.
Yeah, Sadhguru is self-actualization, right? Baba Ramdev is esteem. I have seen a lot of his YouTube interviews. He get aggravated very fast, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, now tell me, where would Modi ji lie?
Self-actualization.
Or still struggling with between esteem and self-actualization?
Self-actualization.
He's struggling.
He's struggling actually. See, again,
because he get arrogant sometime and
see, I'll tell you what, see, this is I'll tell you, Saloni, generally anybody who is from outside India, he will get a different view, right? He will get a different view, but the reality is, right? I will say esteem, because we have to face same problems when we go to tax office, same old issues, right? The bribe and everything is same common, right? But again, because of media, the projection is better.
Sure.
The projection is better than what is happening inside actually. So we'll say esteem. All the leaders are in esteem, right? Or this is true for all the political parties, right? They're struggling at esteem. Sachin Tendulkar, can be self-actualization.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Maulana, if you know our late president Maulana Abdul Kalam, self-actualization, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So again, but still, there is a very thin line between esteem and self-actualization. We may be wrong also in some cases, but it's fine. But you have to understand the basic content of the theory, that needs of the people arises in hierarchical fashion, right? It starts from physiological to safety to social to esteem and self-actualization, right?
Yeah.
Pyramid, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it can be used all these things can be used as a reference pointer for your reward and recognition system for the team, right? Because see, I still remember, I was planning some basic rewards for my team, and I gave them option, right? A cash reward, right? Or some or tickets for you and your spouse or your girlfriends, for the young people, right? Or we can have a team party every week, right? So generally, people who are senior, right, they prefer team party. People who are relatively junior, they were more inclined towards personal cash rewards.
That's right.
So, right. So again, see, so when you see this Maslow's hierarchy, whether you are giving a cash reward or a promotion or whatever, right? It all, you can take it as a reference
So you
pointer
put
based on
yourself in those levels of safety and
Yes.
the physiological aspect as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we are talking. Now we'll go through another set of theories: McGregor's X, right? Y, and Auchi's Z theory, right? Now again, people have a different set of belief. I have seen some people go with McGregor X and Y theory, right? And some people prefer Z theory, right? But it's again about their own experiences and their own approach, right? For example, McGregor labeled people actually. I'll not read whatever is in the slide. I'll tell you in simple terms. McGregor labeled people as two categories of people, X and Y. Now, as per him, there are two types of people. X people are those who don't take ownership of anything, who are not self-motivated, who are not self-driven. They only work if they are micromanaged. If you push them hard, right, only then they will work. These are X type of people, right? They need supervision to contribute, right? Now there is a McGregor's theory Y also, right? Now he labeled one category as X, right? Another category as Y. Now Y category means people who are self-driven, self-motivated, and people who take ownership of things, right? These people can work with the least amount of supervision, right? So he has labeled people under two categories, X and Y. Now there is another guy, William Auchis, right? He has a Z theory. He says, it's not correct to label people as X or Y, right? If you create a good congenial environment, right? If you mentor and coach people, right? If you motivate them on constant basis, they will contribute to the organization and stay there for a longer period of time. This is Z theory, right? Now, we are around 17 people here. Some of you might be agreeing at X, some of you might be agreeing at XY theory of McGregor, and some might be, right, Z theory, right? See, so tell me how many of you agree with Z theory or XY theory?
There are all three set of people.
No, Z theory is not talking about labeling people. He says, everybody can contribute, everybody can do it.
Yeah, it's actually Z theory. If we'll say everyone can contribute.
Yeah, but see, still,
I think it's project based.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It can be project based, but again, in general, when you talk about people, right? Should you label XY?
No. In general, we should not.
But have you seen bosses who label people?
Yeah, it eventually it becomes, because you have to assign a particular task, and there are two people in front of you who is capable enough to do it themselves and who is not. So behind the mind you say that I'll give it to X.
No, that's okay. But again, while suppose there are X and Y people, right?
Yeah.
many times it will be correct also, but I have seen bosses who have preconceived notion that okay, this guy is not worth.
No.
Right? So that is actually X theory is that for example, I have seen taking comments. I have seen these kind of comments from my colleagues also that यार ये बंदा है गंदा होगा तभी काम करेगा वरना काम नहीं करेगा ये. Right? That is what he's a believer of X or Y theory. Right? Anyways, there are different types of people based on their experience. They follow different approach, right?
Pankaj, I'll say sometimes the person whom you think X, he's very lazy, but a sort of work he likes and you just assign it to him,
Perhaps,
he becomes
yes.
Y.
No. I agree with you. That's why I'm saying, I prefer Z. That's why.
Yeah,
yes,
that's the thing.
It happens. Many times when you don't take your job according to your skills, you might be really smart, but you will end up being a poor performer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. In all fairness, I think the Williamauchi theory Z is something which I would call it not as an opinion, but it needs to be looked into seriously, because there are a lot of theories which were proved wrong, where it was categorized that this person is non-trainable. They became the best salespeople. And I think we've got a history of such.
Same example, I'll give you Saloni. It was 5-6 years ago. I was at my I was at my CS office. And I was interacting with 4 or 5 interns, and out of those interns one was the smartest one. And all the guys, including the management, were making fun of that guy because that guy was failing multiple times in CA exam. And what I found was based on his communication, right, based on his outlook, he can be a great sales guy, right? He was actually he was not bad. He took a wrong, maybe by force of the family, or he took a wrong area to work in.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So many times it happens. Yes, you're
Hence,
right.
you can't. Yeah, you must not categorize the person. However, like I said in the beginning, it could be based on the project. The fit for that particular project could not be correct. So that's why in companies there are HR takes care of that, swapping that person to another business,
I think yes. I agree with you. See, it's a case of fit or misfit. It's more.
That's right. Yeah.
But again, very unfortunately, this thing is still ignored. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Now, the third theory is Herzberg's motivation or hygiene theory, right? Now, see, Herzberg categorizes, the whole theory into 2 factors, right? One set of factors are motivating factors, another are hygiene factors, right? Now, what are hygiene factors, right? He considers sale, company policy, paycheck, status, relationship with coworkers. As per Herzberg, these are hygiene factors. Now, what do you mean when you say hygiene factors, right? Hygiene factors are the factors, if they're absent, they will demotivate, right? But if they're present, they will not motivate. They will not lead to motivation, but however, if they're absent, they will demotivate the employee. So can I say hygiene factors are prerequisite or mandatory factors to be present in a job?
Yeah.
Right. Then now, what are motivating factors? The actual motivating factors, as per Herzberg, are achievement, recognition, work itself, responsibility, advancement, possibility for growth. These are motivating factors, right? Now, see, again, if I go back, see, again, it's a very, very geography specific, right? Now, tell me, in India, paycheck, is it a hygiene factor or motivating factor?
Motivating.
Motivating factor.
It depends on
the money. Yeah.
Because these theories have been developed by people in US, right? So see, I still
anybody who's on the pyramid at the physiological graph would matter on the hygiene factor of paychecks.
Yes, absolutely. If you correlate this theory, right? See,
Yeah.
I still remember, I used to live in a place called as Walnut Creek, right? Which is just
Mhm.
ahead of Berkeley.
Yeah.
A very beautiful and amazing place. And, I used to, I was developing a HR software for a company, right? And, the payroll director of the company, his name was Brad Pitt, right? He would say, it sucks when it rains on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Right.
And,
You know,
they were very tiny droplets that will come during the weekend, right?
yeah.
And for me, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But it would trouble him
Yeah.
because of his, the way he has grown. Now, imagine, for a person like us in India, what kind of rain do we see in Delhi and Noida?
Hmm.
What kind of
Flood.
traffic jams do we see there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? For motive, even for us, even if there's a new highway, right,
Hmm.
which is being built, it is a kind of motivational factor, right? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
So it depends. It's these are relative factors, and yes, you can map it to the Maslow's hierarchy also, as Saloni said.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but again,
Yes.
from exam perspective, don't do it, right? Hygiene theory means
Yeah.
hygiene theory only,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But practically, yes, you can do it. Now, the third theory, expectancy theory of motivation by Victor Room, right? Now, tell me, see, do you every person, every individual expect reward for their good performance?
Yes.
But
Yes.
tell me, if I announce a reward but set a very unrealistic target to achieve it. See, I give you some very unrealistic target which are impossible to achieve, and I set a reward on achieving those. Will it motivate you or demotivate you?
Demotivate.
Right? So this is expectancy theory by Victor Room, right?
I wouldn't care. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's some, if the targets are impossible to achieve, right, it will
Hmm.
demotivate.
Correct.
The last one is McClelland's achievement theory, which you all agree. People need achievement, power, and affiliation to be motivated. Everybody needs it from a job. Achievement is when someone performs well and is recognized for it, right? Power means he or she has a lot of control or influence in the company. Affiliation, a strong sense from being part of the working team and having a good relationship with co-workers, right? This is what you expect from a job. This is the last theory, McClelland's achievement theory, right? Now, before we wind up today's session, can we quickly do some questions on resource management?
Sure.
It will not take more than 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we'll start with the basic questions, right? Some of them we have already done. Now, first one, a RACI matrix is one way to show roles and responsibility on your project. What does RACI stands for?
B. Responsible, accountable,
B.
consultant, informed.
Perfect. So it's B, bravo.
Right.
Right. Now, everybody does what Tom says because he and president of the company are golfing buddies. What kind of power does he hold over the team? Right. Now, see, sometimes you get a power because you are very close to somebody very senior in the organization, right? This type of power is called as referent power,
Referring.
right? Because you are very close to the CEO, people respect you.
Hmm.
Now, which is the most effective conflict resolution technique, guys?
Collaboration.
Collaborating. B.
Collab-
Bravo.
Two of your team members are having disagreement over which technical solution to use. What is the first thing that you should do in this situation?
D.
Delta, right?
Yeah, D. Delta.
D.
What
Yeah.
causing?
Now, first we'll find out, right? Why is it a healthy conflict or unhealthy conflict, right? Now,
Yeah.
fifth we have already done, so I'm skipping fifth, right?
Hmm.
Now, which of the following describes Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Which of the following describes Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
B.
P, bravo, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, 8th. Jim and Sue are arguing about which approach to take with project. Sue makes some good points, but Jim gets frustrated and storms out of the room. What conflict resolution technique did Jim demonstrate?
Withdrawal.
Force.
No, withdrawal.
Withdrawal.
See, you're
Okay, sure, got it.
frustrated, right?
He just dashed out of the room. He didn't talk.
Yes, this is withdrawal, right?
Yeah.
Now, Tina is a project manager who micromanages her team. She reviews every document they produce and watches when they come and go from the office. Which kind of manager is she? So all bad, right? Micromanage means X or Y?
X.
X. X, right? Y means all good, right? No micromanagement.
Okay.
Now, which of the following is not one of the top source of conflict on the project? Now, salaries may be source of dissatisfaction, not conflict, right?
Yes.
Plus salaries are not known, right? Now, before we attempt the next question, I'll explain you what is called as halo effect, right? PMI used to give this a lot previously, but from last 2-3 years, there is no question on halo effect that I've seen. Now, what is a halo effect? Now, see, halo, sometimes we promote people who are technically good into managerial roles. Now, tell me, people who are technically very strong, right? They may or may not be a good managers, right? They can be good managers also, right? Or they can be bad. But tell me, without assessing their managerial skills, should I promote them directly to the managerial roles?
No.
No, right?
No.
Now, see, no, right? So, halo effect is, when you promote people who are technically good straight away into managerial roles, right? And as a result, the losses are doubled, right? For example, when you do it, you have a lousy project manager or manager, and you have lost a great technical guy, right? Suppose a technical architect is being promoted to a manager's role, right? He won't be able to function as an architect anymore. So you have a lousy project manager, and you have lost a great technical architect, right?
Yeah.
Right. For example, it might be somewhere fit. For example, Dr. Manmohan Singh as a prime minister of the country, right? Was
He
it
was
a
a good
halo?
finance.
Good.
He was a good finance advisor.
Yeah,
but not a good
lost that.
PM.
And
Yeah.
Sachin Tendulkar as a captain of Indian cricket team.
Yeah, he was bad, but
right?
as individual, he was good.
Yeah, he was good, right?
Yeah.
But again, but his individual performance was also impacted. So these are example of halo effect. So what should be the answer of 11?
B. Bravo.
D.
Bravo, right?
Yeah.
Right? The tendency to promote, right? This is bravo. So 12th is easy, you can answer quickly, right?
Reward.
So I'm just, this is reward, right? Now, we have done 13. We have done 13, so I'm moving forward. So, what is a war room, right? War room is what? A room where team can brainstorm.
Sit together and get closer communication.
See, Charlie.
Yeah.
A room where a team can sit together and have closer communication, right?
That's right.
I'm not discussing 16, 15, 16 and 17 because they are not relevant for today, this exam. They're not relevant for current exam.
Okay.
So 18th. You are the project manager, right? On an industrial design project, you have set up a reward system, but you are surprised to find out that team is actually less motivated than before. You realize that it is because your reward are impossible to achieve, so the team doesn't expect to ever get them. What motivation theory does this demonstrate?
The
No, no.
expectancy.
Expectancy theory by Victor Room, right? Was this Herzberg was hygiene and motivation factor, right?
Sorry. Yeah.
Right. I think we have done 19th forcing. Now the last question for today, 20th. Then we are going to wind up. Your client comes to you with a serious problem in one of the deliverables that will cause the final product to be unacceptable. Your team member looks at his complaint and feel that it is not justifiable and that product really doesn't meet its requirement. What is the first thing you will do?
B.
Charlie. C, Charlie.
See Charlie, right? See Charlie?
Yeah.
Work with the client and team to fully understand. First, find out the root cause, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right.
C.
So, guys, we are wrapping up the session here, right? We'll catch up tomorrow. Again, this is we'll catch up tomorrow at 10:30 again with stakeholder and communication management, right?
Pankaj, when are we going to complete that MS project?
अरे सर MS project में 100% कराऊंगा. Next week हम through हो जाएंगे आराम से पक्का. See, it's done. MS project is 100% done. So don't worry.
Next weekend.
Yes, we'll do.
Okay.
Because
All right.
Tomorrow see again, Saloni, your batch is going on, right? The batch 1 which starts at 8, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So from after 8 you can again join this batch because stakeholder and communication are totally, that will be relatively shorter and they will be totally independent of other topics, right?
Sure. For me, it's 10:30 in the night up till 3 o'clock right now.
No, don't worry. So if you want to skip, you can skip also because in that batch I'll cover.
That's
so no
fine.
worries.
All right. No, I'll be there tomorrow. Don't worry.
If you want to expedite, because
have we covered 2 batches today?
No. See, I'll tell you. There is a batch going on from 8 a.m. right to 10:30, right? So what I requested them was, if they want to attend this session also, right? What they will do is, their course will be finished faster. That's it. So some people from that batch were also there. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
We are not covered 2 batches.
Thank you very much, Pankaj.
Thank you.
Please share this recording to all.
Yeah. So again, tomorrow we'll do communication and stakeholder, and next week we are going to do procurement and only MS project, right? So should be resolved, right? So issue log is a document, right, to manage issues, right? Now issues are what? Which has already happened. Are you getting my point? So risk, see, a good project manager, an effective project manager should continuously anticipate risk. He should continuously assess risk and respond to them, right? A good and effective project manager should continuously identify, assess and respond to risk. So he should continuously, update the risk register. Right?
I agree with the theory. Unfortunately, with questions, it was not getting along.
Now, question, can we share the question?
I'm sharing the screen again.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah. Can you enlarge it a little bit? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Now, see, during implementation phase of a construction project, a key supplier went bankrupt and cannot supply the contracted material. This issue could have affected project schedule. What should the project manager do first, right? Now, first of all, is it an issue or a risk?
For me, it's a risk.
No,
it's an issue.
It's an issue.
Escalate होगा ये, I guess.
Cannot supply a contract. During the implementation phase, of a construction project, a key supplier went bankrupt and cannot supply it. He has already gone bankrupt, so it's an issue. But yes,
it says this issue could affect the project schedule. It is never being 100% sure that it's gonna affect.
Very good. See, this issue can trigger some project level risks, project schedule risk. This is what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
It's an issue, but issue can trigger project risk. What should the project manager do first, right? देखो सबसे पहले इस केस में ये होगा पहला वाला, update the issue log and act to minimize the impact. Right?
Why not add the risk and delay it to the?
अरे इसी नहीं इसी process में when you try to minimize the impact, इसी process में आपको मालूम चलेगा कि because of this issue how many new risks can be triggered. देखो issue जैसे issue कोई आया issue log में डालना पड़ेगा. Right? अब see देखो
this is what the question is. This is what the question is. When do we anticipate the problem to be an issue, and when do we consider it as a risk?
देखो अब ये क्या है? A key supplier went bankrupt and cannot supply the contracted material. Right? This is an issue.
Correct. And this is an issue with respect to key supplier. But for the project, it is not even, they are specifically saying that this issue could affect the project schedule.
See, even if a project leads into issue, if some risk get converted into issue, that issue can trigger new risks also.
Okay.
Right? For example, see, देखो, COVID vaccination. COVID vaccination was a risk response or not? Yes or no?
Yeah.
If there are some side effects of this vaccine, are they issues or not?
Issues.
Because, see, yes, it is very well true that risk, if not managed properly, or if you don't respond to risk, they will turn into issues. Now, these issues will create these issues will create new risks. And if you don't manage them properly, they will also get converted into issues. Are you following me or not?
I am still not clear when to update.
First of all, this is an issue at project level also. देखो risk register तो पहले से ही डालना है आपको, right? See, this is add the risk and the delay to the risk. देखो ये risk तो already डाला हुआ था उसमें. आपके risk register में तो ये risk पहले से होना चाहिए था.
सर दोनों चॉइसेस दी हुई है ना, फिर तो आपको जो नियरेस्ट होगा वो मार्क करने में कंफ्यूजन होएगा ना.
दो तरीके से. Do risk turn into issues, Charu? If not managed properly, do risk turns into issue or not?
Yes.
वो कौन सा वाला केस है? पहला. Right? अब हम now in the second scenario, what we are talking about, an issue triggering further risks like project schedule. So first we have to capture and analyze that issue, that if this issue is not resolved, what all new risks it will trigger. Are you getting my point or not?
I am not sure, sir, when to mark which one in which case.
Now, I'll simplify the scenario. A critical employee leaves the organization. Right? Initially it was a risk. He might, if a critical if a team member who is very critical to the project, he leaves the project team. Tell me, is it a risk or an issue?
It's a risk.
A critical team member leaves the team. Is it a risk or an issue?
So it's an issue.
It's an issue, right? So where would you log it first? In issue log or a risk register?
Issue log.
Issue log.
Now, while analyzing this in issue log, now will this trigger multiple new risk also for you?
Yes.
Delays, Yes or
So
no?
you will simultaneously update the issue and the risk log, both.
Yes, but first is what? Issue log. Because
Issue log.
you will see the impact analysis first.
Right.
See, risk also turn into
Sir, the
issue.
problem is when we are talking about the critical employee of the project, we are definitely in the same league when we are.
No. When you say key supplier is also part of the project team from the customer's perspective.
But there is specifically a line which says that this could affect the project schedule. There is not even certainty that this is going to happen.
See, simple.
So,
it's very simple. See, a risk has converted into an issue. Has it happened or not?
it hasn't happened.
That has happened, right? A risk.
No, it has not happened.
A key supplier went bankrupt and cannot supply it. Now, if my project-related material cannot be supplied, is it an issue or not?
Bankruptcy has already happened.
It's an issue.
Bankruptcy has already happened at the key supplier part. अगर आप अपना देखेंगे हमारे project के लिए, maybe we have bandwidth to adjust the things because it is saying this could affect the project schedule. यहाँ पे कहीं पर भी ये mention तो किया ही नहीं हुआ है कि we are affected by that.
चारू एक बात बताओ, आप घर बना रहे हो, right? And I am the supplier of the bricks, right? आप घर बना रहे हो, I am the supplier of the bricks, right? आपका project चल रहा है. You have paid me in advance, or I become bankrupt. I can't supply bricks anymore. Is it not issue for your project?
Yeah.
It's an issue for your project, right? साफ तो लिखा हुआ है देखो. During the implementation phase of the construction project, a key supplier went bankrupt. That means an issue has already happened. Now, this issue can trigger multiple. It can impact project schedule, and it can impact other areas also, right? So, this is an issue which might trigger schedule-related risk. But how much impact it will have on the schedule? For that to calculate, first you have to update the issue log. Yes, दोनों situation होती हैं. Risk registers.
Yeah. Can we say, sorry, can we say that why, okay, I think to simplify it, why do you register it in the issue log? Because you have to find a solution to find another supplier or a vendor.
Yes.
Hence, you're logging that in that concern in the issue log that this needs to be addressed ASAP.
Yes.
Otherwise, there are more risk involved, that there will be time lag, there will be the project cost can go up high. So yeah, that's probably.
See, generally in these kind of contracts, we have, you will see in procurement, we have, some bonds and insurance. So we'll try to understand whether, if he fulfills our demand by insurance and performance bond, or, should we go to a different vendor B or C or D, right? We'll see the whole impact analysis. We'll do, with different vendors, the impact on the schedule will be different. So the first thing is we have to update the issue log, right? To minimize the impact. We'll try to minimize the impact first. We know that this is a schedule risk, right? But again, first issue has to be resolved, right?
And if I rephrase the question here, for an example, during the implementation phase of construction project, a key supplier may go bankrupt and may not be able to supply the contract material, then that's add the risk and delay to the risk register.
Absolutely. Right? Now see, if the language was what Saloni said, during the implementation phase, right, of a construction project, right, somebody gave you a feedback or somebody told you that it is highly likely, that a key supplier may went bankrupt, right, and cannot supply the contracted material, right, and this may impact your project schedule, right? If this is the language, the answer is D.
Yeah, anticipation.
This is anticipation, right? Is that okay?
Yes.
Charu. So, the question is about risk converting into issue and then issue triggering further risks. But for, issue triggering further